everyone, and welcome to our new lesson. Our today's lesson is about how to insert data into the database table which we have created in the previous lesson, and we called it terms. To insert data into our database table, we will have the same window as which I display now in my window. Let's get started with our new lesson and to learn how to insert data in our database table using MySQL program. First of all, you have to run XAMPP program. This is the first step. How to run XAMPP? We type here in the search area, we type XAMPP control panel. And we choose this one. You will find that XAMPP control panel window will appear here, and you do two steps here. You just click on the start button beside Apache program and the other one beside MySQL program. Okay, so the first step is to run XAMPP, and in this window we will run Apache program and MySQL program. This is the first step. The second step is to open your web browser here, and you type localhost / php myadmin, and this is the URL of our database program. Okay, and here when you open your database program, which is php myadmin, which is MySQL program, you will notice that the database you have created the previous lesson, which is DB dictionary, appears here in the left side of our window. You just click on it, and you will notice that the table which you have created in the previous lesson, which is called terms, is shown here. You just click on this table, and you will notice that here we have the structure of our database as shown here. And you will notice here the name of the fields which we have created the previous lesson, which consists of the ID field, term field, translation, definition, and pictures fields. And here, if you noted this yellow key, it's the primary key field, because we determined the ID field to be the primary key field of our database table, to use it for connecting or creating relationships between the database tables, as we are going to study in the next lessons later. Okay, in our today's lesson, we are going to enter data inside this table. How? To press the first step here to click on insert button. Okay, and you will notice here that you have this empty table as shown here, and be careful, you will type the database content underneath the word value here in this text box. And also notice that in this text box beside the ID field, you will never type any value, because we determined it as auto increment, which means it will have a value automatically. You just start here beside the word term, and you start typing the computer terms which will be added into your database table as follows. The first term you will add is the motherboard. Motherboard. Here the term name is motherboard, and translation we type it in Arabic, اللوحة الأم, and it will appear in Arabic letter correctly, not as question mark, because we determined the encryption style as UTF-8, right? After that, you will move or scroll down. Beside the word definition, you will give an explanation for the motherboard, and you can type anything you'd like to appear. We will type, for example, it's the main board inside the computer. Okay, and the last step here to type the path for the picture, which is for the motherboard, which means where do you save your picture file inside your computer. And be careful for this path. First thing, you will type the partition, which is C, and this is by default. The second part of this path, XAMPP / htdocs / img / the image file name, which is motherboard, or any name you would like to give it for this file, motherboard. But the remaining part of this name, it's by default. This part of the path of the image file is by default. It's determined by the system of your computer. Why? Because XAMPP is downloaded inside partition C, and all the files of our program must be saved inside this file, which is called htdocs inside XAMPP, and the image or picture files are stored or saved in this image folder. Okay, as we'll see now, if you open your PC like this, and you open partition C, you will find XAMPP folder. You open it, and you search, look for htdocs folder, and this folder is the default folder for all the projects file. They are all must be stored inside this folder. And here you will find the image folder, and we save all the images which will appear in our website inside this folder. So you notice here the path of the image. Okay, image file, image inside folder htdocs, inside XAMPP folder, they are all included in the partition C. Okay, and here we have the image of each picture which we will display in our project or in our website, right? Okay, here is the picture of the hard disk. We downloaded from the internet, and we saved it in, stored it like this. This is the hard disk, and we stored it in the path which I told you before. Okay, so here beside the word pictures, you type the path of the picture, and the path again inside partition C, in XAMPP folder, inside htdocs, and here the folder for storing images, and here the name of the image file. And this part, the last part, the name of the image file, is up to you. You can determine it as you want. Okay, and as you scroll down, you will have another field data. You can fill in these text box as I make here for the first term, and so on. After you finishing entering the data of the computer terms, you just click go, and you will notice that and click on browse, and you will notice that all data you added inside database table are added here, as you notice. And here, if you look at this field, the ID field, you notice that it has a value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and they are auto increment. You didn't add any value in this field, but it's added automatically. And here, the first term, processor, translation, definition, and the path of the picture, and so on for the remaining of the computer terms. And that's all we have for our today's lesson. Thank you for watching. Until we meet in our next lesson. Thank you and goodbye.